Hey, my lovelies, welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Daily Vibrations. So, if you are new to the channel, I want to welcome you. If you are a returning subscriber, I want to welcome you back. So, my name is Kamoy, and we are doing a daily vibration for today, June 19th, 2021. Can you guys believe that we are pretty much, halfway through the month right about now? Right, ruling number of the day is the number 3, my loves, and we are currently at day number 83 on our journey. We have 17 more days left in our level up journey. Can you guys believe that? 17 more days left in this journey. Okay, we still have the sun currently positioned in Gemini, and the moon is currently still positioned in Libra. It's going to be swapping on over to Scorpio on the 20th, right? So it's day 83, guys, and it is also Reflect and Revise Saturday, which means that you are to take a deep breath and you are to just reflect on the week. Reflect on the things that you've accomplished, maybe the things that you didn't accomplish, but it's still okay, right? Maybe some things that you may have to carry over next week, on the list as you hop on over to listed Sundays, right? Now, as you're moving throughout the day today on Reflect and Revise Saturday, I want you to ponder this in meditation, right? Evil versus live. Evil versus live. Now, one of the wonderful things about self-alchemy, when you begin to study and realize that you're your own guru, and, we're going to have those lectures come in towards the end of the year just so you guys can know. But tapping into your own intuitive nature and learning how to trust spirit, right, is one of the ways that you begin to see what's behind the veil, right? Or you begin to see things in the reverse, right? So if you reverse the word evil, my love, you get the word live. So my question for you today, as you are moving throughout Reflect and Revise Saturday, what do you see as you move throughout your daily activities, your daily interaction with other people? Do you choose to see evil or do you choose to live? Right? Like what energy are you tapping into, right? Because you literally can't be happy and sad at the same time. You are going to have to change states, right? You're either going to have to jump on over to the happy state, right? Happy address, or back on out, right, into the sad address, the victim mentality, not taking responsibility for maybe what you've contributed to the situations unfolding the way that they've done. Now, let's see. As far as the elements are concerned, my love, I need you guys to understand this, right? We are in energy right now where we're getting ready to hop on over the Cancer season, which means that people are going to be tapping in collectively on an emotional level, and people already starting to spin because a lot of people are not dealing with their own internal demons per se, quote unquote, or internal conflicts, or internal limitations, or internal self-doubt, or internal guilt, whatever it is. Some people internally are not dealing with the things that they need to be able to push through this energy, right? So one of the things I try to do here is to let you guys know that we live in a world of archetype. We live in a world of symbols. We live in a world where you really should not shun away from anything that you're told is evil per se, because that's probably where you should be living, right? In that part of the realm, or at least interacting with that part of those realms, so you can live in totality and not just in a limited spot on a dot, in a particular way of thinking, or a particular way of doing, or a particular way of being. You're able to take from each avenue of life and place it to where you need it, assistance, instead of just saying, okay, the only way things can unfold is this way, this way, this way, this way, right? There's no room for the ebb and the flow of life, and life is not always just about a straight line, right? It has curves. Okay, it bends, it ebbs, it flows, it moves, So you need to be able to take that as you're moving throughout your day. Reflect on that today, right? Do you see evil when you pursue your day? right? Or getting your tasks done, just or even, setting out to go to the grocery store. Your wall's already up to encounter evil, right? Or your vibration, or is your vibration operating where you're tapping into that abundant, flow of beautiful energy where you can live, right? So element wise, you need to know that you are not just responsible for mastering your sun sign, aka the month that you were born. You are also responsible for mastering all 12 aspects of the zodiac wheel, okay? Now, which means we're talking about archetypes, because each one of these zodiac signs are responsible for a particular archetype within the wheel that you either have to master, or that you have to strengthen, or that you have to grow in, or maybe even something that you've already overcome in another lifetime, okay? Now, with that being said, we're going to chunk it down to elements. So we're not going to get so sign specific, right? We're just doing the 4 elements. So air element, when you hear me reference air element, I will be talking about the energy that holds Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. However, if you're not a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius, you can apply this particular part of the message to your thinking, your spiritual and your mental thinking, the thoughts in your head, the repeated conversation, the mental mind loops, okay? The mind chatter, all right? That's where you would apply the air energy to, all right? Or maybe even to your intuitive nature, your guides, your ancestors, anything that's coming in intuitively in your mind, right? Is really where you want to tap into. So this is how you're thinking, right? This is how you're thinking. You're paying attention to your thoughts within this air energy, okay? Now, when I talk about the water element, okay, or the water signs, that is going to be Cancer, Scorpios, as well as Pisces. Now, if you're not a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces, this is going to be about your emotions, your feelings, what you're feeling, okay, emotionally, okay, emotional energy. All right, so that's where you're going to apply that particular element if you're not a water sign. Now, if you are not a fire sign, my love, which is going to be Aries, Leo, as well as Sagittarius, you're going to apply this particular element to the areas of your life that may need movement and where you may need to trust your intuition. All right, where you may need to go with your gut, right? The areas of your life where you may need to take action. All right, that's where you're going to place this energy if you are not a fire sign. All right, now when we talk about the earth element, if you're not an earth sign, which is going to be Taurus, Capricorn, as well as Virgo, all right, you're going to apply this to the physical realm, all right, the material things, the manifestations in your life, all right. That is where you're going to apply this message if you're not an earth sign, okay. Now, one of the beautiful things that I love about doing what I do is because you can begin to connect the dots and see allegories, right? So although we have the 4 elements, air, water, fire, and earth, right? You also have the 4 seasons, right? You have summer, fall, spring, and winter, right? You still have the elements there. So, and then when you think of 4 in astrology, that's square, but that can also be where you master things, obstacles that you have to master. All right, so that's also what you can find within astrology, where it comes to the number 4 or a square, right? It's about mastery, obstacles that you're going to have to overcome, challenges. Well, at least that's the way I like to look at it. It's really, a square is all about challenges, opposition. So now, on the level today, because like I said, it's Reflect and Revise Saturday, and we're talking about, evil versus being able to see things from a perspective where you're living, right? Mentally, it's saying today, if you have some conflict and some defeat thoughts going on, right? Because you got conflict and defeat popping up here, as well as life purpose, which are both, you can give that to the energetic pattern of throat chakra, which would be Gemini energy anyway, right? So if you're going through areas today where you may be mentally dealing with some conflict or some defeated thoughts, or you're interacting with conflict within your relationship, and it's causing you to mentally be in a place where you don't necessarily want to be, right? You find that this is not a place really where it's comfortable, right? It can be draining mentally for you. The way that you're going to move within that energy today is really tap into the purpose, especially when it comes to your life purpose. Tap into the lesson today, right? So instead maybe of looking at the conflict and the defeat, maybe look at what you need to learn in this particular experience, right? Maybe look at what you need to learn in this particular relationship. So this is how you're going to be looking at things today from a mental aspect. Anything coming in trying to get you on that place where you're dealing with any type of defeat, or someone is confrontational, where you have to deal with some type of conflict, you want to look at the purpose. All right. The life purpose card is the card number 22, which equals 4. So there we go again. Self-mastery within that number, self-alchemy. This conflict and defeat card is the number 5 card. So we're still talking about you being able to push past your limited thinking, limited beliefs, right? And limited views of how you need to solve problems. Sometimes you don't have to argue back. You don't have to be right all of the time, okay? You do need to face things though, right? So if we're talking about emotionally now, right? The energy is staying grounded because you have the Earth chakra card popping up, but it's popping up in reverse, internally. So which means you're going to have to ground yourself internally. Tell yourself the truth today, because there's energy of deception and envy around you today. So, the envy could be, you self-projecting because you don't feel so good about yourself, or it could be people around you that's doing the self-projecting because they don't feel so good about themselves. You want to ground yourself today, especially if you find yourself starting new projects or starting new things, starting a new job, and maybe confiding and sharing. This may not be the time so much to share externally within this energy. You may really just want to hold things close to you within this energy, only to the really tight support system that people are going to be genuinely supportive and encouraging. You don't really want to have anybody invited into your sacred space right now that's on the negative aspect of how they think and how they move, how they feel, just their presence. You really don't need that. So when we're talking about the fire element, if you're looking at your intuitive nature, your perception, and how you think about things, you're going to have to find inspiration, right? There's financial and material changes, and I think that depends on you, the individual, and what you're going through. For some people, it's going to be stepping into a more level of abundance. For other people, it's going to be you starting that new business, promotion. For other people, it can be a split of assets because you've had to move, and move on with your life in one aspect, and your partner, you guys have had to split, and now the finances are different. So you want to find ways to create financial and material changes in your life without looking externally, right? So that still goes back to the way you think about things, life purpose, right? Telling yourself the truth, not being deceived, right, by what's glittering, right? Because everything that glitters ain't gold. Sometimes it's just fucking gold glitter, right? So you just gotta know that as you're moving throughout the day. Trust your gut, tap into your intuition. For some of you, this may mean taking walks, spending time in nature, full-fledged meditation. For some people, chanting, prayer, sitting with yourself, checking in with yourself. However you want to label your spiritual practice or routine, you can do so. But finding your inspiration and not waiting for someone else to give you that or give you permission to be inspired, okay? Now, from the physical place, right, when we're talking about the physical or the earth element, the energy is saying it's time to move on, right? You figure out what you want. If you feel like you're in a loop, you figure out what you want and you focus on that. You focus and allowing that to come into your presence. And it's not that you have to keep obsessing on it, but you focus on being grateful that it's already experienced, right? That's called visualization. Moving on is paired with the visualization card. So that's third eye chakra energy, right? Third eye chakra energy. Paying attention to your perception, your imagination. So you're going to have to use your imagination in the physical realm today. And for some people, that's even creatively. Buy a plant, sit it next to your desk, change your furniture around, get the energy moving, right? Change your space up, change your energy, sage, burn some incense, anything you can do to tap into your imagination, right? And begin to visualize things the way that you want to experience them versus the way that they're unfolding right now in your life is what you need to tap into. Okay, that's self-alchemy, self-mastery, my loves. Okay, and I just gave you the tip. You can choose to see evil or you can choose to live. I just gave you that. That's a reflection. What are you going to reflect back to you? Evil? Or are you going to reflect back to you the option to live, move forward? Not everybody's supposed to get you. Not everybody's supposed to understand. Not everybody's supposed to like you. Not everybody's supposed to acknowledge your and give you accolades for the things that you do. Some people in your life are there just to do the opposite, to be honest with you, right? And that doesn't mean it's anything bad, but you should use that as a lesson, motivation for you to be able to complete what you started as far as a project, for you to be able to live freely in who you are and just be, right? For you to be able to love who you love, for you to be able to live your life differently and not be confined and restrained by anyone else's thoughts or belief system. That's possible. But it starts with you. The only person that can grant you permission to do that, to have that, to be that, is you. All right? All right, so it is listed Sunday tomorrow, okay? So as you're reflecting today and you're revising, hopefully you'll be listing things in a different way tomorrow, right? All right, you guys know the deal. Don't be afraid of the dark. Do something kind for yourself. Love yourself, because out of darkness comes enlightenment, right? I'm going to see you guys in tomorrow's Daily Vibration, my loves. Have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday.